Hey guys, just one quick question. Does this look like a normal Primogem amount to you? It shouldn't, and it isn't. And yet, here we are. After an entire year of playing Genshin Impact, I still have not used a single Primogem. Just to be clear, you guys, this is a work of a psychopath. Actually, I'm willing to take a bet that of all the accounts in the entire world, I have the most unique 4 stars without a single 5 star. And just to be clear, I have used all of my acquaint summons, and I've so far only ended up with a 5-star weapon. I'm probably pretty close to the pity on the 5-star character. We'll have to see how that develops. So why am I doing this exactly? Okay, before we answer why, let's answer what. What we've learned, of course. If anything, we can at least derive some useful information here. First, let's establish the facts. For one, this account has not spent any Primogem on stamina or wishes at all. And as of now, I haven't spent any money in the game. I already spent on miHoYo's other game, so I don't really want to be a spender in multiple gacha games and get into that rabbit hole. So does that mean, folks, I am a free to play? However, there was an event really early on into the game and I did win 1 Welkin Moon, so we do have to take into account that this amount is actually 2,700 Primogems, a little high. So the true amount is 92,000. But other than that, I haven't received any other special Primogems at all. But in all other cases, I have gotten all the Primogems that I could have. I haven't missed any event as of yet. Of course, you might be wondering about Spiral Abyss. I have been doing it as well. Because I have Constellation 0 characters, it's actually quite difficult for me to get all 36 stars. I do think that it is possible, but usually I just get 33 stars so that I don't have to stress over it, especially with the recent Spiral Abyss changes. However, I think that the Spiral Abyss rewards are just really lackluster, so I don't really feel motivated to try for this. 50 Primogems, less than what you get from 1 daily. It's not a big deal. So if you really want, you can add about like 300-ish Primogems. So what can we learn from the Primogem amount? Well, a couple years ago, a friend of mine recorded every single day his crystal amount for Honkai Impact in order to establish the data regarding the $0 crystal income. Now, I haven't done anything like that, but due to the fact that I have not spent any of my Primogems, I can do something similar. So what I have done is I've collected all the screenshots I've shared on Discord and I put them on a data spreadsheet. So by doing this, we can actually graph it and get a better idea of what the free-to-play Primogem income looks like. So here we go, and if you actually look at it, it looks very straight, and it's very hard to derive information from this. So I took the information that I learned from high school math, and I took the derivative graph. Doing this shows us the rate at which I received Primogems per day. So doing this makes things a lot easier, but that big initial burst at the beginning makes things hard to see, so we're actually going to ignore that. So when we cut that off, we actually get a much more realistic view of what the expectation is for free-to-play Primogem income. And to get a better approximation, I'm actually going to multiply this by 30, and doing this gives us what I want, which is an approximation for the amount of Primogems you'll get per month. So you can see in some months we actually get some pretty good spikes, like in the Inazuma update, but overall if we took a fair average, the amount is about 7,000. But it is important to note that that is the average, which means that in some months we actually have a very low Primogem income, some months even going below 6,000. So actually, if you're free to play, I would suggest using 5.5k per month, just so that you'll never overestimate no matter what. Plus, this doesn't account for any ways that you might get fades by other means, so the true amount of pulls that you get per month can actually vary a little bit higher depending on how much you pull yourself, because the more you pull, the more pulls you get, ironically. So going forward with Genshin Impact, I am expecting this Primogem income to actually increase with time. And the reason why I expect that is because as gacha games age, so does the generosity of the game itself. Though I would think that the problem with that is Genshin Impact is still a beast in popularity, so miHoYo can really just do whatever the heck they want. I actually did not think that Genshin Impact would stay popular for this long, and my very wrong expectations brings us to the reason why I have been saving Primogems. So initially, the reason why I saved Primogems in the first place was because of expectations. I have experience with miHoYo's previous game, Honkai Impact. So in the first few months of Honkai Impact, it was actually very similar to how Genshin Impact's early game felt. A lot of the early game was just leveling up your characters and getting stronger and clearing what you could of the abyss. And what ended up happening in Honkai Impact is a lot of the early game characters that people thought were good ended up being kinda useless after a year. And actually at the end of the year for Honkai, they introduced another endgame mode, something I've been looking forward to in Genshin Impact, but has not happened as of yet. So what became of my expectations? Well, a lot of my efforts ended up being kinda worthless. After observing how Genshin Impact has developed over the year, I don't think that this game will ever have a requirement to push your teams to min-max and push it to the absolute limit, because I just don't think that this is that type of game. It seems that you can use any character that you want, granted you're willing to pull for what you need. And because of that, I really think that this is one of those games where it makes a lot more sense to follow the waifu over the meta, as the common saying goes. And while I do think that Genshin Impact will eventually have another endgame mode, I have no reason to believe that it would be any more demanding than the Spiral Abyss that we currently have. The only thing that kind of annoys me with Genshin Impact's current system is that I can't really upgrade my characters at this point without pulling for constellations, and I can really say the same for the 4-star weapon refinements. I really hope that if miHoYo releases another endgame mode that it would address this problem. So as miHoYo releases more and more characters, it actually will become a lot harder to get constellations on an individual character unless they appear on a banner. And the logic follows that as we get more characters, previous characters will appear less and less on new banners. This type of problem can really be seen with the 5 stars as well, because it really is hard to see how they're going to do such slow reruns if they keep releasing so many characters. So what they might do is add characters like Venti to the standard banner. I'm not sure if they will, but I might start accumulating Acquaint Fates just for that, which would be really cool for both new players and free-to-play players. They have done this in Honkai Impact, so it's not unprecedented. Okay, but wouldn't it be cool if a free-to-play player had a C6 and R5 set on release? That's right, there's literally no reason at all for me to save this much Primogems anymore. But that being said, I actually am starting to get a high just from seeing the number go up. Did I mention I feel no incentive to pull at all? So yeah, I basically entered this zone where I'm basically in too deep, and I kind of don't want to pull because I've already been saving so much. So I kind of want to go all the way and go for a C6 plus an R5, which will probably take all the way up to 200k Primogems. Now, from where I am now, to get to 200k will take about another year, unless, of course, they release the Unknown Goddess, which, by no question, if that happens, I will spend all my Primogems on her. I say it as a joke, but of course, if it does happen, I will do it. So hopefully that demystifies why I've been saving so many Primogems. Do I have the worst account in all of Genshin Impact of all the launch players? Yes. Am I okay with it? Also yes. So I guess I'll see you guys till next year. Basically, I'm just going to be your local hodler. So at the very least, you can rest easy because there's always going to be someone with a worse account than you.